Hey, welcome in. This is the Revolved Realty Real Talk for Friday, October 19th. I'm with a very healthy Alex Flores. Alex has got all of these muscles and he's coughing like an old man. So. Hey, welcome in. Chelsea McKinney is traveling today. She is in Denver for some reason. I said, why are you going to Denver? And she said, well, I have a round trip ticket. I might as well use it. So
why not?
She's gone. Zach Walker is not here. He is a little under the weather. So I am here with my good buddy Alex Flores. And Alex, tell him a little bit about you and everything you do.
Well, like I said, excuse the coughing. My name is Alex. I own Moving Unlimited. I own Pro Painting. We do a little bit of everything. Usually when people move out of their houses, usually their kid's room is either like bright pink or bright blue or whatever. So they usually have to have their house painted. So I decided to be, we'll figure out if it's a smart thing or not, but I decided to open up the painting thing not too long ago. And now I just recently got back into the fitness industry. So we'll see how well that goes as well. So,
very cool. And that's one of the way that Alex got on my radar, of course, was I knew Alex as an entrepreneur, and he had started the moving company, and we recommend you quite a bit. Always happy customers when Alex does it. But the reason I've got you in here today, it's not to talk about fitness. It's to talk about moving, which is, I read once that there was a survey done, and one of the top 5 things that people dread doing and hate to do is move.
Everybody hates
moving. Why? Get up here and talk into the mic. Why does everybody hate to move other than the obvious
Nobody
reason?
wants to move their own stuff. I'll be honest with you. Everyone always asks me, Alex, do you love your job? And honestly, I really do love my job. The stuff that we get to see, the people we get to interact with, it's really great. But nobody wants to move their 300-pound dresser up and downstairs. Nobody wants to move things in either hot weather or cold weather or anything like that. It's really like a setup to just be miserable all day. And the stress that the people are in when moving, it's unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Well, that's one of the things, the reason people hate it so much is because we amass stuff. I think all people are hoarders to some degree.
Everybody is a hoarder. Like if you get in these houses, they're like people have been in about 30 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff that they accumulate is ridiculous. And the crazy thing is, they'll only tell you about so much stuff that they have over the phone. So it's really hard for us to judge how long your move's going to be and whatnot, because usually they're like, okay, well, we just have 2 bedrooms of stuff that's going, or this and that. But then when we get there, they forget about the whole other 2 stories to their house or the attic and things like that. So
well, that's one of the things I want to get into, the semantics of the business and some things that folks can do to make it easier when they move. But I think, again, people are, if they're not a hoarder, they're a pack rat or they're a collector. My mom, who was she would bristle if you called her a hoarder. She's a collector,
right? And
the stuff that she collected was just weird things, right?
Well, recently the house that we moved for you not too long ago, the one on that mountain, they were a huge collector of doll houses and stuff. She also actually made her own doll houses.
And was very particular about you touching them.
Very
as I recall.
particular. She actually. Nothing against us, and she said she moved them herself.
Right.
But I mean, I completely get it, because I mean, the time that she put into all these doll houses was just unreal, and how critiqued and like just amazing.
Well, people, I mean, I could understand her emotional attachment to those doll houses, but a lot of people just have you open. And I know you've seen this recently on a move where you just open up a door and it's floor to ceiling, wall to wall, hopefully packed away neatly in boxes. Sometimes it's just kind of a lot of stuff thrown into a room, right?
Right, definitely. A lot of people don't realize, like they may tell us, hey Alex, we only have this much stuff, blah, 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 and then we get there. But what I stress to people is, if you're ready when we get there, things will go really, really quick. Yeah. The thing, 7 out of 10 customers, and that's a bad ratio. 7 out of 10 customers are never ready when we get there. And I stress to people religiously, be ready when we get there, and then the time that I told you, that the move's going to be will be that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get things happen. People get busy and all that stuff. But 7 out of 10 customers aren't ready when we get there, and then it ended up taking several hours longer.
Yeah.
Because they usually just, it looks like they just woke up that morning and decided to move. So, and that makes it a little difficult for us, because then we have to deal with a little upset customer because of certain things and things like that. But I mean, at the same time, I try to do everything I can. I'm completely okay. We're okay with packing stuff for you, but if you don't get that service,
but that has to be part of the deal,
right?
And that's one of the things I think that people don't understand, especially if they've been in a house for 30 years and they've never moved, or the last time they moved, it was them and a buddy in a pickup truck.
Right.
You have to understand there really is a process to the whole thing. So when someone calls you and says, "I want you to move me or help me move," you go out and give them a quote. And what is that quote based on?
Well, that quote's based on how much stuff they have, and usually all of our...
Is it how many rooms in the house, or just how much volume of stuff?
I've been doing moving for years, for quite a while now. I'm not tooting my own horn or anything like that, but I'm pretty good at moving, and I'm pretty good at walking into a place and saying, "Hey, this is how long it's probably going to take," like almost down to the hour.
Yeah.
So I can.
Is that how you do it, by the hour?
Yeah. If it's a local move, we go hourly. Okay. If it's over so many miles, we legally have to do it in a flat rate. Okay. Like yesterday, I just got back from Gulf Shores. Literally just got back from Gulf Shores yesterday. So that was a flat rate because of the distance. And anytime we're crossing state lines, that has to be a flat rate and things like that. There's a lot of legalities when it comes to moving that people don't understand. We can do it as an hourly rate, and that's actually the cheapest route to go. So if you're able to do that, that's definitely something you want to do. Right. A lot of people, a lot of commercial movers and things like that, they're like, "Well, Alex, I want to do it. I want to do it. Just give me a number, blah, blah, blah," which I understand. Yeah. Because you don't want any surprises. Yeah. But at the same time, if I'm a very honest, blunt guy, you know that. If I tell you, "Hey, it's going to be a lot easier on you if we go hourly," you probably want to do it hourly. Right. Like I said, if I wanted to get money out of you, we would do the flat rate thing, because obviously it has to be cushioned just in case it goes longer than expected. Right.
And that's another thing. We're talking to Alex Flores this morning. Alex owns a moving company, Moving Unlimited is the company. He also owns a painting contractor, which we'll talk about. But that's another thing that people need to consider, is there's more to it than your guys just walking in, picking up furniture and moving out. The packing process is I mean, that's the worst part.
It's the longest
That's the worst, but people need to pack up themselves, or you will actually come in and do the packing, but there's going to be a charge for that.
Yes. Packing definitely takes the longest. My guys at our company, my guys initial every single box. So I know exactly which one of my employees packed every single box. Yeah. They also label and do all that stuff.
That's a great way to hold them accountable.
Exactly. Yeah. At my company, we have this thing that's called "If you break it, you buy it." So my guys do not like to buy.
Break it. Yeah.
They don't like to buy things that's not theirs, and they do a really good job. I usually don't have to do anything with that, because they usually take really good care of the customer stuff. But when you start doing stuff like that, they take a little bit more care of your stuff. But, like I said, I have great guys. They do amazing work. When they pack, if they're moving, loading, unloading, all that stuff, they do a really good job.
There's an old adage in business that if everyone had to sign their work, the work would be better.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And that's pretty much what we go by over here. They all sign a waiver, like that. But the great thing is, they're never hesitant to sign the waiver. Every one of my employees, I would trust them with my wallet. Or like my own home to live in it or whatnot. I mean, they're really, really great, dependable guys. But like you were talking about, the packing definitely takes the longest. Yeah. Going in and packing, because they, like I said, if we have this thing, if you break it, you buy it. Right. So they're taking not necessarily taking their time, but they're being pretty dang careful with all your stuff.
And I assume if it's something that's breakable, they're going to wrap it
they're
going to take great care of, because they don't want to buy grandma's crystal vase.
No, and a lot of the stuff like that we end up having to pack is like China cabinet stuff, or like something that's probably a family heirloom that's been in the family for about 100 years or whatnot, and that's usually the stuff that they try to get us to pack.
Let's talk about breakage for a minute, because that's always something that I hear about. Well, I'm afraid to have someone move my stuff because they're not going to take care of it. They're going to break it. How do you deal with that sort of thing? Because I would assume in the moving business, there's always that possibility.
Right.
You could be as careful as you can be, but there may still be some breakage. How does that work in your business?
Well, every company legally we have to be licensed and bonded up to so many amount of dollars. But honestly, I mean, like I said, I'm a very honest and blunt guy. Everybody knows me. What we do is we try to usually I try to end up usually paying for it out of pocket if something was to happen. Luckily, I've never had to use my insurance in the history of my company.
That's good.
I hope to never have to use it, knock on wood. But if something was to happen, because technically if we were to take something to insurance, they would just give you the value of it.
What they say is not the emotional value
exactly.
of it. It is what they say is the value of it.
Exactly. And usually that's not going to make the customer happy.
No.
If
you break grandma's curio cabinet, it's only worth $12.
You're right. Because the depreciation value of it is really not a lot, especially if it's been in the family umpteen years. So, I mean, we do everything. We do everything we can to make sure that the customer's satisfied. And luckily, I've never really had an upset customer.
Yeah.
We've dealt plenty of customers for you and everybody else. We have a 36-month contract with Hampton Cove. If that's not telling anybody something, because they have
some nice stuff.
They have some really nice stuff in Hampton Cove. I mean, they do everywhere else too, but Hampton Cove is just one of those towns to where or areas where you just know it, like everything's probably going to be really nice.
Yeah.
So, and luckily they reached out to us. Not even a year ago, but they reached out to us. We're the first and I think only company that they've ever done business with or signed a contract with that's been in business right around 3 years or under 3 years.
Wow.
They've never done business with anybody that's usually been in business under 5 years. So
that speaks highly of what you guys do. So
yeah, I was really excited about that.
Yeah.
So
well, okay. So nobody likes to move. The reason is usually they have way more stuff. It's just kind of a pain. And of course, people are going to complain about the price. And I don't want to go into pricing per se here as what you charge, that sort of thing. But on average, give me a ballpark. If someone calls you and they've got let's say a small 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, they're moving 5 miles away, all of that stuff goes into the calculations of trying to figure out the price it's going to cost them.
Right. Like I said, a majority of any companies move. Like, I've been in business for a while. I know most owners at all the other companies around here, but the more often move you're going to get is a local move.
Right.
So it's going to go hourly. And legally, like I said, we're only allotted so many. Like our price is actually kind of controlled.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, in the state of Alabama, we're the only state in the nation that I know of that has to go by a certain law when it comes to pricing.
Really?
So we can't price too high and we can't price too low. If the dollar amount gets too low, they could come and technically shut us down and all that stuff. So when everybody's over here asking for like a lower deal and all that stuff, we're like, okay, I would love to do that, but either my quality's really good or whatnot. So a lot of people try to go for the dollar amount when it comes to moving, but they don't understand the quality that they're going to get. And when it comes to a laboring job, with so many, this is a very cutthroat business.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to go for the lower dollar amount, but I'm like, you're probably going to get somebody that's not licensed, that's not bonded, that don't have anything whatsoever, that probably just got a buddy off the street or a friend down the road and is coming to move you.
You kind of get what you pay for.
Exactly. In moving, you definitely do. And that's not the case in every business. Because like I said, I mean, I've been there. I'm like, okay, I want the cheapest price for this and that.
Sure.
But in moving, it is really important to where the dollar amount isn't as important as the amount of stuff you have, or
Yeah.
the price of the stuff that you
Yeah.
have, the sentimental value.
Yeah, and sometimes it's an all day thing. You might get to go back out there. I know you did a move for me recently that was like a 3-day ordeal, and it finally ended at like, I don't know, midnight one night. So you have to kind of be prepared when you go out. What are some of the things that people can do ahead of time? Okay, I've called you, I've got your quote, we are setting a date. What do I need to do? Do I need to start packing immediately? Let's say our move date's 3 weeks out.
Right.
You want me to be, when you pull up in that truck, I would assume you want me to be ready to move.
Normally, the best thing to do is to be ready when we get there. But like I said earlier, 7 out of 10 times, that's just not the case.
Doesn't that drive you nuts, though? I mean, I would just...
It drives me
tolerance
nuts.
is better than mine.
It drives me nuts to the extent of if the customer gets a little upset.
Yeah. It's your fault. They're not ready.
Yeah, obviously it's always going to be the business's fault in any business whatsoever,
Yeah.
whether it's real estate or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, if they come to realization, we got there, we had to stand around because you're still packing up this, your bed's still made, blah, blah,
And the
blah.
clock starts when you get there.
And if it's a local move, our clock starts when we leave our office. Reason being, as long as my guys are in the truck headed to a job, they're on the clock, and that's with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So when I explain it like that, people usually understand it.
So if they're not ready, your guys are standing around with their finger in their ear. They're still on the clock, and that's going to be
Right.
Yeah. So what folks can do is be ready when you get there. Let's talk a little bit about the process of them getting rid of stuff, because this is,
and you've seen plenty of houses where they just need to get rid of stuff.
I don't know how, but I have somehow ended up being the king of hoarding houses that need movers. One thing I talk to them about is, okay, if you haven't used it in a year, maybe 2 years,
or longer,
or longer, if like, well, I've got some shirts that I probably haven't worn in 20 years that I could probably toss out. So there has to be some kind of give and take when you are moving. You've got to look at all the stuff you've got. If you've got things that you haven't used in 5 years, if they've just been in the garage, why are you moving them?
Right. And that's actually what takes, I want to say, a very good percentage of people's time on when it comes to moving is stuff that they have absolutely nothing.
But they just can't leave
with.
it behind or throw it away.
They can't. And my thing is, if you can get rid of stuff, do it, because honestly, a majority of people, when you move into a new home, and you know this as well as I do, when you move into a new home, if you move in there with the exact same stuff that you had from the other home, you're not going to feel like you moved into a new home.
Right.
It's going to feel the same.
Yeah.
And more than likely, you're probably going to buy a brand new couch anyway, a brand new whatever anyway. So if you can do it, go ahead and do it before. It'll save you a lot of time moving. You'll love your house when you move in there. You won't have to shuffle things around 10 times, because usually when we move people into their new house, they never, like I said, they never know where things are going to go, which is granted.
You guys bring stuff in and set it usually in the room where it's supposed to go. But
we'll set it exactly where you want to. We'll bring the boxes exactly where you want to, the couch, whatever, and we'll move it as many times as you want to. But you got to understand, the whole time we're doing this, you're on the clock.
Right.
I mean, and not trying to be mean, but I mean, it's a business at the end of the day. I'll try to be as nice as anybody in the world, but my guys are on the job, on the clock working. We still have to continue to charge.
Yeah. Do you get those customers who have you move a couch to 4 different places until it's done?
We'll have a couch that, like here recently, not too long ago, they're okay, this couch is going to go here, and we set it in the living room, and then we'll set it, and then they're like, okay, no, it's not working here. Take it upstairs. Okay, we'll take it upstairs. After we move it like 2 or 3 times, then it starts getting really old.
Yeah.
And then they're kind of like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
well, do it when we're not charging you by the hours. One of the things that I talk about with my clients is I call it the pile system. And I didn't create this. I don't know where I got it, but as you're going through packing, you need a pile of things that are going to move, a pile of things that you can donate, a pile of things you might have a yard sale, and a pile of things that are just going to be trash.
Right.
And you divvy everything up into those piles, so then you throw out the trash, you donate what's being donated, and then you pack up what's going to be moved. You do anything like that?
Yes, we do a lot, like literally a little bit of everything. So, like if they have to take stuff to the dump, we'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
If they have to take stuff to Salvation Army or to donate and things like that, we do that as well.
Okay.
I actually have about 6 or 7 storage units full of furniture that people just donate to us, or
Wow.
or
Maybe
like,
you should go in the staging business. You need to talk to Chelsea McKenna.
Well, a lot of it is like they just, like you said, they get to their house and they have no idea what they're going to
Right.
do with it. They
Yeah.
decide, they ended up deciding last minute, hey, Alex, there's no place for this. Take this.
Mm-hmm.
Will you take this? I'm like, yeah, I'll take it, no problem. Because what we do a lot with, I work a lot with a lot of charities, a lot of homeless things, homeless events, and what my goal is, say like somebody gets housing that has been homeless.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking down to them at all, but somebody that gets housing that's been homeless, a lot of the times they end up right back on the street, which is
Yeah.
terrible, and I hate that, but that's just reality. Our goal is if we can furnish a little bit of the house, like if I have some spare end tables, couch, blah blah blah, this and that, maybe it'll feel more like a home to them when they get there instead of just moving in with the clothes on their back and a mattress.
Yeah.
So that'll make them more willing to try a little harder to keep the house.
Yeah.
Because really a lot of times they end up right back on the street, and
Yeah, it's sad.
and unfortunately, like even with us doing that, they still kind of, but it does give them that incentive
Yeah.
to want to do a little bit better and do that. So like I said, I come from a little bit of nothing, so I kind of always like had a little bit of, I guess.
Yeah, you're a give back.
Right.
guy.
I try to do as much as I can.
Yeah. Well, I think people just need to understand that, and I actually did a video about this, the emotional attachment that people get to their stuff. And I mean, again, you and I, you've done a number of moves for us, and there are people. I also go over with stickers, and I'll get like green, red, yellow, and blue. And again, it kind of like the pile system. The red is things that are in the trash, blue or donate, yellow is move, and green may be yard sale or whatever. And I will when I'm in a situation like this, I'll take them those stickers and I'll kind of explain to it. They never use those stickers. They never use my stickers or my system. So it is a process. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Hey, I want to talk about, we got about 5 minutes left. I also want to talk about your painting company, because one of the things that you do, and I think it was really smart to do this, is after someone moves or they're about to move, there's usually painting repairs and that sort of thing. How's that company going?
It's going pretty good. The crazy thing is I have to actually like kind of slow it down a little bit because a lot of
overloaded.
Because a lot of my movers are actually my painters as well. They end up luckily. When you get guys in a laboring job, they usually know how to do a lot of laboring stuff. So they're big into painters. I know how to paint a little bit, but I have one guy that knows how to paint and do reconstruction, remodeling, just as good as I know how to do moving. Yeah. So he's really good at that aspect. He's a great mover too, but he's really good at the painting. So like I said, like we said earlier, a lot of times when they move into or when they're trying to sell their house, they're usually moving out of a house that has their daughter's room painted pink or their son's room painted bright blue. So to sell that, you can't sell a house with bright colored
trust
paint.
me, brother, I have tried. I have tried.
and I know that. And I get so many customers that ask me all the time for years now, hey, Alex, do you know any painters? And I always send them to somebody, or I don't know somebody. Right. So I decided, well, hell. I mean,
might as well paint.
Might as well. I mean, I know how to paint. I know how to paint pretty good, and I have some employees that know how to do it pretty good. Why not offer that service as well? It's kind of like a full circle service.
Right.
So
it all kind of ties together, because whether you're moving, like I said, into a place or out of a place, there's usually some form of repair. So we're coming down to about 27 after. Been talking to Alex Flores today. Alex has Moving Unlimited. He has, what's the painting company?
Pro Painting.
Pro Painting. My brain.
It's okay.
My brain. It's just going. You also do personal training. Let's talk a little bit about that because I used to be kind of an old gym rat. I still kind of do on occasion, but well, there's some guns in there. Something. I'm like the old man with a bicep. There's a new movie out with Robert Redford called Old Man and a Gun. I'm an old man and one gun. But why you've done personal training, but you're actually thinking about going into that as a third business. What's taking you there?
Well,
because you sound so healthy.
I'm getting over sinuses.
I know.
But when I was in my early 20s, believe it or not, I'm only 28 years old. I look 35.
Well, I'm 35 and look 70. So.
Yeah. Well, a long time ago, I used to be really big into bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I've
seen some pictures of this guy. He looks like he was stung by bees and just swole up.
Well, I'm literally half the man I used to be.
Yeah.
As literal as that term can get.
Yeah.
Literally, I went from wearing 3X t-shirts down to extra large shirts. So
yeah.
I used to be really big. I was really lucky to able to do it for a living, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of knowledge about the body. That's one of my favorite things to learn.
Right.
I actually used to work in physical therapy as well. So when it comes to injuries and stuff like that, that you try to tell me about your injury and why you're not going to the gym, I'm looking at you like you're an idiot because I'm like, I can work around this injury and you can probably do a lot better in life with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I know a lot about the body, a lot about the gym, a lot about nutrition. I've coached people and this and that. So I'm blessed with being able to delegate a lot now at work because my guys are so. I mean, like I said, I can't ask for a better crew. So I'm been delegating a lot, and you can only network so much.
I know,
with me being, I'm very hands on. If I'm not doing something all day, I can't stand it. It bothers me. So I said, okay, well, why not get back to make a little bit of money while I'm just sitting here?
Might as well.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I ended up posting something on Facebook not too long ago about getting back into personal training and stuff like that. And actually, it started out just being I was just going to do online stuff, so I could still go on my jobs and this and that. Well, I ended up getting a lot more feedback from that.
I saw that post. Everybody was like piling on.
I was getting messages, I was getting emails, and I was getting phone calls. Literally I think I posted around like 7:30 in the afternoon at night. And then it was blowing up. And then I get a phone call from a buddy of mine that owns a gym. And he's like, hey, Alex, I want you to train all your people here. And I was like, well, I wasn't going to physically one-on-one back to train people. But then it decided, okay, well, let's go for it.
Right.
And then he offered it. He's like, hey, Alex, do you want to buy the gym? And I was like,
sure, I've got nothing to do.
I was like, well, you know, if the numbers are right, we can work something out. So that owning the gym could possibly is in the cards.
Do you realize that one way you could train is just to take people out to a move and make them move furniture for you?
if that's definitely
that's brilliant. I'm
that's a great way to turn people away.
Hey, this has been the Revolved Real Talk Show. Thanks for everybody who's watching. We've had a lot of folks on today. Alex Flores with Moving Unlimited, Pro Painters, and possibly Vortex training. How they get in touch with you for any of those things?
Well, all of our numbers are on Facebook. We have right now we have two numbers. We either have for moving, you can either call 256-658-6887, or with painting 256-410-1033 for the painting. Either way, you're going to get me on the phone. Every time you call my company, you're going to get somebody that actually knows what they're doing and is experienced in what they're doing.
Speaks English.
So, exactly, yeah, speaks English. So 9 out of 10 times you're going to get me. Okay. So don't worry about anything. You're going to get me on the phone, or you're going to get one of my managers at my company. So
all right, good deal. And you can always get a hold of Alex through us because we do refer out a lot to him. A lot of satisfied customers and some hoarders. Some of the jobs I send Alex his way, he's like, thanks a lot, my friend. So hey, hope you've enjoyed it today. Don't forget, we are going to record this. You can tag it, share it. If you have comments, please leave them. Zach Walker, I hope you get better. Chelsea McKinney, who's floating around Denver for some reason. I hope you have a good time. Travel safe. As always, if I can do anything for you when it comes to real estate, give me a call, 679-0704, or find me here on Facebook, and we will see you next week. And remember, if you need to move, or if you want to learn how to move, Alex is your guy, all right? That's it, guys. We'll see you next time. We're going
Thank
to kill
you.
it.